Namaskar from our channel, The Consultants View. Artificial intelligence AI is a revolution and has established its footing in different sectors like financial services, telecom and media, retail business, defense, healthcare and many others. It has been also striving to revolutionize infrastructural engineering. Right from investigation, design, analysis, project planning to construction management, AI's contribution has been enhancing the efficiency and efficacy of this sector. As such, the professionals, mainly the consultants in the infrastructural sector, are getting much influence to adopt AI for the project activities. So, today our discussion topic is scope of artificial intelligence in urban infrastructural consultancies. With us today is Mr. Ajay Kumar Basu. Namaskar. Before discussing on AI and its influence on the infrastructural sector, let us talk a bit, or rather introduce Mr. Basu, an expert on wireless and wired control system. Mr. Ajay Kumar Basu, 76, is an electronics engineer with Post-Graduate Diploma in Computer Science from Jadavpur University, Kolkata, India. He served leading in Indian Research Laboratories, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research and Bhabha Atomic Research Center as computer engineer, senior scientist for over a decade. He has also served leading Indian electronics and IT companies in senior technology and management capacities for over 2 decades. Lastly, he formed his own consultancy for development of control system, particularly for the water management sector. After retirement, Mr. Basu worked as SCADA consultant to World Bank and Asian Development Bank for their water management projects in India. Mr. Basu's current area of interest is artificial intelligence and neural network, on which he has received extensive training in Stanford University. He currently lives in Milpitas, California in USA and Kolkata, India. Yes, Mr. Basu.
Thank you, Mr. Patro. Today what I plan to do is to talk a little about AI in general and then switch over to use of AI in engineering, consultancy and management.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
That's our target is.
Yes. So let us first find out what is this goddamn thing. What is AI? AI, the concept of AI is there. It's not a very recent thing. It is more than 100 to 150-year-old idea.
150 years?
Yes. If you look at the very beginning of mechanical computers, this thought was always in the mind of scientists as how to use a computer to mimic human brain, which is the starting point. But we could not do much. For 100 years almost it was in hibernation. Why? Because the type of memory, the type of processing power that it needs was not available at all, even if you spent money.
Oh.
So the application is not very new, it is very old, but the implementation is very, very new because now we have got computers which can handle such huge data. Basically, looking at AI theoretically, it is a branch of statistical learning. What it means is that you have got lots of data from which you predict some result on a specific subject.
Okay.
Now, the way it does is that this data adjusts the computer parameters such a way that like magic the result comes. As I told you that if you have 1 billion pair of numbers, whose the numbers you have fed also fed the maybe sum of square of numbers, then after doing this, when you give a new pair of numbers, it automatically gives you the sum of squares. But you have not written a program.
Yeah.
You have only given the data and the result. Now, one example of very early use of AI is about handwriting recognition, specifically the digits. It's simple that there is a number. You are trying to see what the number is. Now, sometimes I write 5 the way you write 6. Sometimes I write 9 the way you write 0. Okay, so it's difficult. It's challenging problem. So, what way did we solve this problem? We fed to AI examples of 0 to 9, millions written by Indians, Chinese, whites, blacks, Japanese, everybody. At the early stage, the success rate of correct identification was not even 50%. And then within few years, it became 99.7%, which is something, it means 0.3% error, which is acceptable, but it has increased the automated search and sorting of the envelopes by a huge margin. You are no more looking at the envelope. You are using AI to read what is the code, barcode, or you can say PIN number written on the envelope. This has increased the efficiency of postal department in USA by leaps and bounds. This is one example which you can take heart from, that this is a small problem. It does not require a large computer, and it is as successful. The way it does is a statistical trick, but in implementation it does try to use the way human brain works. Okay. In case of human brain, our hands, legs, etc., these are the sensors. The data goes from the sensors to brain. Brain processes the data and also passes the result to the sensors themselves, to the actuators themselves. Like we touch a hot surface, immediately hand detaches itself from that. In the process, we have touched it, we have sensed that it is hot. Sensing means the data has gone to brain. From brain, the processing has advised us that remove your hand, and then we have removed the hand, but it appears to be instantaneous. This is the idea and the way brain works, its synapses. We have tried to emulate that in software, and that's why the name is neural network, but really it is not neural.
Okay.
It is trying to emulate the way neural network of the human brain works as we know it as of up till now. So we come back to our topic, that what way we can use such a technique for engineering. So in fact we can use it as much as our imagination allows us to, but let us talk of some specifics.
Yeah.
Let's say a bridge. What is the health of this bridge? How to know that? Earlier idea was mostly to do some destructive tests. Today, we keep inbuilt sensors in the bridge itself.
Yeah.
They go on transmitting data, huge data, and by analyzing that, we can get our desired result. What is it? To know the health of the bridge. Okay. Now here it's a combination of what theories we knew already and also huge data that we are now able to process using the computer. So you can call it a AI powered application which uses normal knowledge programming as well as AI. Now Let's take some other examples which are very different from this. Think of your documentation. In an engineering project, your documentation is a huge matter.
Yes, sir.
And too much of manpower gets, I would say, wasted on documentation.
Yeah.
In AI, if you have given it hundreds of examples of documentation, which you have, thousands, then millions, maybe billions, it itself finds out how to write a document for a particular engineering application. Of course, you have to give proper data. Incorrect data means a hallucinated result.
Incorrect output.
But we do have the data. So documentation is one of the areas. We can look at it in three different ways. One is technology. Second is commercial. And third are these sort of text generation. In documentation is an example of that. So let's look at some other areas of AI in engineering applications. Let's say water management, which we have all worked for quite some time. Suppose you want to know the water pressure in a network in a particular point, but you don't have a sensor at that point.
How could I know?
How do you do this? So what you do is you go on measuring at various points, and you generate huge data. Once you have the data properly fed, I'm not discussing here the AI techniques. Those techniques are beyond the scope of this session. But with those proper techniques, if you give the data in a proper way, the result comes. It comes almost like a magic.
Even there is no sensor at my specified
at that point there is no sensor, but you have sensors before, you have sensors after, you have sensors everywhere else, and you have also taught him how the pressure changes with distance and water level.
What are the different parameters?
Yes. So what you are doing is basically you are educating the computer, which you were doing even earlier. But earlier we were using a theory or a rule to find the result. Now we are not using a theory or rule. We are using data. This is the difference that it makes. Because there are many problems which cannot be solved theoretically. Like think of an engineering problem which has, let's say, 1 million parameters. Can you do any mathematics to optimize it?
How can it be possible?
There are theories.
Even with 4 parameters, it becomes difficult. So difficult.
And if you look at large language model like ChatGPT, it has 175 billion parameters.
175 billion?
Billion parameters, not million.
Not million. Million into 1,000.
Into 1,000. So theoretically, trying it through mathematical procedure and equation, it is impossible. Only thing you can do is go on feeding data, and you also feed the expected result. Now, where from you get the expected result?
Yeah, that's
is it there?
Yeah,
it is there.
It is there.
Yes, our human knowledge for such long period. Actually, we have done so much of experiments on which we have our results. So we go on feeding that. We are not trying to teach it how to solve a particular problem. Okay. For example, in ChatGPT, does it know what questions I will ask it? It doesn't. No. I can tell it. I can ask him that for water management, what are the challenges? He didn't know the problem, but he has so much data, if he has at all, about water management that he knows what are the problems that have been faced in water management. So it appears as if he is thinking, actually it is not. It's a programming trick. Now, using this trick, you can do everything, but as of now, it is in a very, very preliminary state. particularly for engineering, we must understand that there is very, very little models available in AI models available for engineering application. They are not there. So we are talking of what we'll get tomorrow, not necessarily what we have. The models that we expect AI to use are in two parts. Current AI is called a weak AI.
Weak AI.
Yes.
Okay.
This weak AI takes the data, gives us, and by data I mean actual data plus corresponding result. That is the data to the AI. And it tells us the rule. What it means is after that, when you give a new set of data, it gives us the correct result. Okay. For doing that, earlier we must have fed it billions of data, and this process is called a training process. Once you have trained it, and after that ask it a question, it gives a correct answer. That answer today, in case of engineering, is not really there. It is more for the future than for the present. But let me explain to you one interesting idea. The idea of digital persona.
Digital persona.
Yes.
Okay.
What is it? Mr. Patra has worked on water management for, let's say, 30 years or maybe more. He knows lots of things. Now, I required to find him, ask him those questions for my benefit. Instead, I asked Mr. Patra to give me all, if he has written papers, then all papers. If anything that he has done, those inputs he gives me. I use AI model to find a digital Patra.
Okay.
It has got all the knowledge he has, whether it is about engineering. But obviously, in these matters, when we are making a digital persona, we are not asking Mr. Patra what he ate yesterday or today. So our information about Mr. Patra will be limited to water management.
Yeah.
And then I have given all the information. After that, when Mr. Patra is not available, I can ask the questions to his digital persona instead of Mr. Patra. And it is likely to give me.
Virtual Patra is there.
Virtual Patra is there. And more information I feed, more and more it actually emulates Mr. Patra. If I give a very little information, it may give some answer which is irrelevant. More information, more relevance. Ultimately, it becomes almost a real Mr. Patra. Now, you can think what difference it can make in your engineering projects. You have lots of practical experience which is needed, and you don't have the manpower. You can have this image, this digital persona, to train people. What you have learned in 30 years, people will learn in 6 months, because it is there in front of you. Okay.
Yeah.
Ask whatever questions you want, specific questions. It will give the answer if it knows. And how it will know? Through AI. Okay. So one can say that what way AI can be used is not a question. You can say what way it cannot be used. Okay.
Correct.
So
in what way it cannot be used
yes,
in our.
that you can ask, and I'll find it very difficult to answer that question. But I can have Mr. Patra's knowledge. I can have Mr. Patra's document writing capability. I can have Mr. Patra's project management capabilities. All I can put in this program, and someday Mr. Patra does his consultancy, but he doesn't go to 100 people. He says, I'm there in 100 places at the same time. Just invoke my digital persona, and whatever consultancy was, just ask him. You will give the same answer.
It will give the same answer
immediately. Same answer immediately, and it will do simultaneously. You can
simultaneously.
Patra may be there for 100 places. Okay. So I am trying to explain to you the concept rather than a particular application, because applications are many.
Yeah.
In engineering consultancy, let's say we have a problem about foundation design, okay, or structural design. A problem that we all know that we require to follow certain rules, which are maybe Bureau of Standards rules or some guiding rules. Just feed these rules. Don't do the design yourself. Give lot of examples of design. You also give specifically train this computer on AI on what are the guiding parameters, like your for example, there are upper limits and lower limits of certain parameters. Those you feed. After that, you can get the result the way you would have got from a professor who does the design. But what is the difference? Difference is that professor will design it. After designing, if some parameter has not been satisfied, he will redesign. Again, if 3 parameters have gone beyond the normal level, he will again.
So tell me one thing.
Yeah.
Suppose that based on the design, if the structure fails,
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Then professor can analyze, or the
No,
designer
based
can
on,
analyze that where it is.
Excuse me.
Where it is
Based on design, the structure should not fail. What can happen is, when you design, let's say there are 40 parameters, you are not able to really deal with 2-3 parameters because there is no formula that you are using. You are changing inputs depending on your last output.
Yeah, back calculation.
Back calculation. So you are making an interactive
reiteration process.
Reiterative process. Now, how many times you iterate? In case
manually it is not possible.
It is not
for
possible.
Maybe 2-3 times.
But let us say I have given 1 million examples of structured design. I have fed it to the computer. It will learn what is structural design. It does not need from you the iterative process.
Then, there are then another profession, another activities coming up. There is feeding of that 1 million or 1 billion data. It is
in AI. The major limitation is expense.
Expense of manually human expense for feeding data.
No.
What then?
The huge servers which can handle billions of data. All computers cannot. This computer cannot. Okay. So huge computing power, huge electrical power will be used there. There is an estimate that in 5 years' time, between 6 to 16% of total energy requirement of USA will be from the AI servers. Can you think of the size of those AI servers?
That means it is applicable to all countries.
Yes, no, that is why it will be beyond reach of people like me, who can probably design something but who don't have resources to implement it, unless there is an implementation and result. But today the picture is that you have an engineering problem. AI does not solve this problem. But AI can be used with some augmentation. This augmentation is the specialized knowledge that you are feeding. Let's say ChatGPT. It does so many things. You augment its knowledge. There's a specific scientific term for that, by your specific inputs. So now earlier we are giving all inputs available. Now we are giving specialized
input for specific
those specific outputs. We are not going to ask it some peripheral questions. We are going to ask it some specific questions like a design. Okay, so inputs will be how to optimize it, and the research that is going on right now. There is a Chinese model which is called DeepSeek, which has been announced only in January, and it gives the same result with maybe 1/5 or 1/10 processing and memory requirements. So on one hand, we are going at the top level where We are having huge computers which solve all problems, but it has its price. You cannot use all your energy towards computation of
Yeah,
AI.
yeah.
So now the concept which is coming is called distilled AI.
Distilled AI.
Distilled.
Okay.
This distillation means that you are not using so much data because it's not possible. So you distill the data, and that filtered data you feed to the computer.
But for the process of distillation also some
It is a closely guarded secret. How to distill? What is the algorithm for distillation? This research is going on, and this DeepSeek model does the distillation. It takes any model which is existing as input and gives us a distilled version.
okay.
Okay, which takes much less memory, much less computing power, and so on. In our field, we have unique opportunity because you don't have those solutions. Even
Yeah.
when I was studying my last course in Stanford, we discussed that engineering solutions are not there because we feel that engineering solutions are not something for AI. That was the idea earlier. Then where we used it? Mostly for health sciences, new drug discoveries. We have used it for text processing. Entire chat GPT is about text processing.
Yeah.
But what about engineering?
Yeah, there's engineering. So,
There is huge scope, but who has the data? Maybe Westinghouse has it, data. It will not open the data to you. It's not going to give others. So in public domain, you don't have engineering data. But this digital persona concept, if we can use, then we can, a professor's all papers that he has written, all lectures that he has given, everything you feed to the computer.
sir, you are opening up a new field of consultancy.
Yes, you and then now you have got a new the professor who doesn't tire, he doesn't sleep.
Yeah, he doesn't sleep. Exactly, he
He
doesn't
can
sleep.
exist in 100 places at the same time, and he has all the knowledge that the original professor had.
Okay, sir, great. Can I go to the next question?
Yes.
Sir, one person who is developing AI is likely to be from the computer science background or something background like you or electronics or something, and not from the infrastructural engineering sector. Okay. In this case, how much we can be sure that his developed product will give an optimum and acceptable solution? Can there be any tool to validate the AI solution, or is it required?
No, I think we have to look at it in a different angle.
Okay.
There is a industry standard which is known as Industry 4.0, also Industry 5.0. They are only standards. There is no such protocol available which is solid protocol, but conceptually they exist. What is it? On one hand, you have got sensors.
Yeah. Okay.
In engineering,
Yeah.
out and out in engineering, you have got your sensors. You have got IoT.
Yeah. Okay.
These are called operational technologies, and this AI is a computer science technology, let's say. So what we basically want is that we form a platform in which the engineering problems are solved using AI. But how do you do it? For doing this, it is necessary to have a group of people, few of whom are AI experts, few of whom are engineering experts.
That means a team is
You are not trying to teach the AI man engineering details because you have learned in 40 years. Now, how will he learn it in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay,
Obviously.
he cannot. So, what he does, we cannot be having a completely isolated sides. One side knows only computers, another side knows only engineering. So, this concept that is coming up now, the, it will have a group with combination of both, and sitting together they are going to give you the results, because which data is meaningful and which data is meaningless,
That only
that
engineer-
also the AI expert doesn't know.
The engineer knows it.
Engineer knows. So, and which data will probably confuse the computer altogether, that also is known to the expert, not to the AI expert.
Yeah.
Basically, AI is a statistical technique. It is more mathematical than engineering. But as I told you, that we all know how to solve an equation. If there are two equations and two unknowns, we know how to
Yeah,
solve.
yeah.
But if there are
10
two
unknowns, 2 million unknowns.
not to 10, if there are 1 billion unknowns and 1 billion equations, can you solve it using normal mathematics? You cannot. So AI uses some intuitive methods which we cannot discuss in this short while, but that is not mathematical theory. It is intuition.
Intuitive methods.
I could give some examples, but those examples also will take few hours.
Okay, then
Okay.
so let us go for the next one, sir.
Yeah.
That you have already touched upon. How does it change the role of consultancy, our normal traditional consultancy?
It changes.
I am
the
emphasizing
role.
on infrastructure part mainly.
Yes, yes. In fact, we will not need the consultants.
In fact, we do not need consultancy.
No. Because we are creating digital consultants.
And also persona.
See, yeah, digital persona is actually a digital consultant.
Yeah.
Okay. If I can put all the knowledge, human knowledge, not Mr. Patra's, all human knowledge about water management, if we can somehow think theoretically, if we can give it to a AI, does it need another consultant?
Sir, here my question is that you told that if we give it to AI,
Yes, that means
how to give it in that long
Let-
process? What is the process of giving the data to AI?
see, this is a process where you have got, suppose you have got an equation.
Yeah, yeah.
This equation you require to solve, but you are not able to solve because your unknowns are too many.
Too much. Yeah.
Right? But you know lot of examples of what has happened in the field from which you know, you don't know the equation, but you know the result. Does it make any sense that you don't know the equation,
But I know.
but you know the result? Like for example, suppose I don't know how to multiply. Again, I am coming back to that. You know, I don't know how to multiply. But you have given me 1 billion examples of two numbers and their result. I don't know.
So you don't have to multiply. You see just
I
match the
am
numbers
looking
and
at,
give the result.
I am seeing at the data, and I am also looking at the result and feeding it using AI techniques. I get a model to which you give any two numbers, correct multiplication results will come. But I don't know how, because I don't know the rule at all.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I know the results. Okay, so in engineering also the huge results we have got, like for example bridge failure. You have got lots of examples, right? Now on those examples you also know why. Now this is a gold mine. So you go on feeding. Ultimately, actually, you have fed it all the theories that are concerned.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay, but you did not do it consciously. You
Yes, correct.
okay?
I agree.
So you go on. Means idea is that whatever knowledge human beings have till from the evolution of human being till now, feed everything. Then whatever we know so far, the computer will do. But this is called weak AI.
Weak AI.
This is not strong AI. Strong AI, or also it is called artificial general intelligence, is to think like a human being.
That is strong AI.
That is strong AI. It is not from data. It is from where I cannot even tell you that. Okay, it has its capacity to think. It has its capacity to not to use old theories. but to come out with new theories. Okay, so we can say that there is a period of these are all conjectures that 2030, 2000, today we are in 25, let's say up to 2035, it will remain weak AI. Okay.
That means weak AI will be much more
Data driven the way it is, but continuously improvements will come. 2035 to 2050 will be strong AI.
Domination will be strong AI.
Strong AI, okay. Where AI takes decision. AI does not depend on the data. AI has its wisdom.
Okay.
Okay. And then 2050 plus could be called the time when it exceeds human brain's capability, and hence we cannot say what it will do. Yes, theoretically it can be
so it is very near.
That no, it is near, but as a human being, whatever faculties we have got, if some sort of beings from outer space have better faculties, can our brain find out what they are likely to do? It cannot, because it has its limit, and they are operating beyond that boundary.
Yeah.
So what they will do, we cannot even imagine. Okay.
Yes, sir.
It may be frightening, but then it is there.
Okay, sir. So the discussion is going at different level. So let us bring down a bit. Sir, whatever we discussed all about the positives of AI. So are there any negatives of AI application on our sector, like data privacy issue, security, biasness even?
AI in general has characteristics. We would not call it limitations.
Characteristics. Okay.
This we know. And when it does something bad, it is our job to make sure that it cannot do it. And hence, there is a lot of restrictions which are being proposed in every country about adversarial networks.
Adversarial?
Networks.
Okay.
Okay, generative networks, where you can copy something so well that nobody can know that it is a copy.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you a very simple example. Let's look at this picture.
Okay.
This has been drawn by one of the most famous painters of the world. This sort of pictures, I make a AI model. I feed it these inputs. I'm not feeding this picture, I'm feeding lots of pictures from which AI finds out what are the characteristics. Then another model working parallelly tries to find fault, that is this fake or this is real. It finds out.
Maybe it will find some fakes.
It finds out some characteristics that this is a fake. Then AI gets that information that he has understood that is a fake.
There are some 2 points or 3 points are fake.
There are some characteristics which have failed me, so AI improves. This adversary, he also improves because AI is giving him newer challenges. He is giving AI challenges. Ultimately, because of which the other becomes better, and a situation comes when AI's picture is so good that you are not able to you understand this?
Yeah,
that on one side is a art expert or maybe a group who know the art. Other side is the AI. The art expert finds out the fault with the AI. AI changes its drawing such a way that the fault is rectified. Again they find a newer fault. Again AI changes itself.
So at one point of time,
when it goes on this way, sometime experts will not be able to make out what is this picture. Is it real or is it fake? Now that is a very dangerous thing. I have given a harmless example, so to say, from picture, but it may not be picture.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, it can be anything. So this sort of use of AI to fake anything is an extremely dangerous situation, and this has to be addressed if required by legislation. So almost in USA they have a government document which has been circulated in 2024, a 112-page document about what way to handle AI, how to encourage its good sides and how to handle its bad sides. But even other technologies also had very, very bad effects. Like same drug which cures us also makes us drug addict.
It is like that.
It's like that. So it is up to us to handle, and it will be nice if AI can decide that thus far and no further, we will not go any further. But that will
not happen.
It is for us to make it happen.
Great, sir. Great. Yes, sir. Sir, I saw in some advertisement there are written AI powered.
Yes.
How it differs from AI? Because
Okay. See, these AI powered things, I am not talking of things which are purely commercial and have no scientific basis. But really AI powered solutions are available which are genuine. I am talking of them. I am not talking of the hundreds of AI powered advertisements that you see every day. That day I saw a cigarette, AI powered.
AI powered
Cigarette. I saw a big ad, whatever it means. So AI powered means that you have got a theory by which you can solve the problem. With that, you add the power of AI by giving lot of old results, old data and corresponding results, plus the theory. Okay. Then the theory works, but it result is even better because the AI examples you have given are okay. So this combination is called AI powered solution, whatever it is. It is not purely AI, it is not purely theoretical or computational. It's a combination of both. And it is very, very popular.
Okay, sir. So you have already highlighted just in your discussion, but still I want you to make some specific highlights on the commercial aspects of AI application on infrastructure projects, commercial aspect. Now, one thing is very clear that there will be human labor or the engineer's cost will be gets reduced or some consultancy cost gets reduced.
No, those are extremities where they are not needed. Okay, but we are not there. We will be there maybe in 20 years.
After 20 years, 25
right
years.
Now we are not there anywhere. Right now in engineering consultancy, if you look at today, you don't have AI competitors. You are very safe. Okay, but how to use AI to make yourself more competitive?
That should be the target.
That should be the target. For example, if a project can be AI powered management of the project allows you to complete it in, let's say, 2 years instead of 3 years, you gain. If it allows you to use optimized design to have 10 tons of material instead of 40 tons, then also you gain. So these are the engineering project areas where you have got, look at it as a concept that there is a person who understands this very well, but he has only 24 hours a day and he has to sleep. Now using AI, you are using his knowledge parallelly 100 times, 1000 times, million times. So that's a huge benefit, and for consultant, because that consultant can earn much more than what he is earning today. Okay, but the AI solution has to be very carefully developed because AI hallucinates. Yes.
Okay.
When the model is not correct or model is okay, data is questionable, there could be many reasons why it hallucinates, but it does hallucinate. I can show, there is a book which has given list of problems for which AI will give wrong answers. But that wrong answers were 3 years back. Today's AI are not going to give those wrong answers. It is moving towards perfection. So it has to be a combination of AI expert and the engineering expert. AI by itself cannot do it, the
Engineer
cannot do it. But fortunately, this sort of platforms are very seriously worked on. Okay.
So working is going on, or is it to
work is going on.
Okay.
Okay. And also, you don't require to have those big models and big computers. You think one small problem which has lots of demand. You solve this problem. You solve it. Use your knowledge, and after using that knowledge, you make this solution such a way that this solution can be used extensively in your absence. This also is an use of it. Okay. And I think it's a good time for consultants, but it is also a very bad time because afterwards they may not be.
Okay, sir, we are coming to the end of our session today. Sir, last one question. Sir, regarding that books what you just told, sir, I have, in the market there is practically no books on AI applications. Sir. Because what I come to know that for AI application, it's a dearth of books. So
see, the thing is like this, that in fact about AI there are very little books. Okay. About AI there are books, but compared to the huge sensation whole world has about AI, number of books are very limited. The reason I guess is that this subject is advancing so fast that your book may become irrelevant after you spend 1 or 2 years on that book. So people,
so every day is changing,
everything is changing. Hundreds of labs across the world are trying to bring it to the next level. A huge competition is going on.
That may be the correct answer.
So if you want to learn about AI, only way to learn is to read papers.
Okay. Publications.
Anything that is published new, it will give an idea of the next step that they are going for. Okay. But books, unlikely. But there are a couple of good books. But then when you read those books, you already know that those theories are no more.
After 6 months, it will be no more applicable.
So what will you do?
Okay, thank you, sir. Great to discuss with you on AI application in the urban infrastructure consultancies. Sir, now the question
I think I have not satisfied you because
it is a limitation of time, sir.
No. Actually, today in urban infrastructure, AI is not used.
Yeah.
So I can't give you examples of something which does not exist.
But that is the future.
What we talked about are the future.
The future, yeah.
Okay. And this Industry 4.0, Industry 5.0, these are basically your what is called operational technology, OT, of which you are a part.
Yeah.
And the information technology, which is IT, of which AI is the part.
IT and OT has to come together.
They have to combine, and they would produce the desired result, not anyone by themselves.
Exactly, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, now a question regarding me.
Yeah.
Sir, this is my new initiative to make like this interview session, the podcast session, like professionals like you. Sir, what do I need to work on to make it more interesting?
I think you. I'm not sure I'm proper person to guide you at all, but
in general,
I feel that this discussion, if we want to attract engineers, it has to be more solution based rather than generalized. Okay. Say you take AI. What AI can do, a big book you can write about. But people are not interested.
This
If
application.
I have my problem in water management and if I can define what my problem is and you can solve this problem of AI because you are an AI expert, then what you are talking will be interesting to me. But this generally our talks are too general. This is my
Yeah.
personal.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir, for your time, and I would like to appreciate you for your participation, and so it's a token of participation from our end, our channel's end.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
I
sir.
appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Namaskar.